justice, Dharmaraj, sits Minos-like in the underworld, riding his black bull and wielding his noose. He comes for you when your time on earth is up. No one has ever eluded him, except Savitri, only daughter of Ashwapati, king of Madra, born after many sacrifices, so resplendent that her father wanted never to part with her. But Savitri must marry, so Ashwapati sent her out into the world to seek her life partner. When she returned, Prince Satyavan, whose father has lost his kingdom and his eyesight, who has no brothers and sisters and lives like a pauper as a woodcutter? Beti, don't you know, 1 year from today, Satyavan will die. But Savitri had chosen. So that very day, Ashwapati took her to Satyavan and watched the two of them take the 7 steps round the sacred fire that made them man and wife. For 364 idyllic days, every morning, Satyavan set off into the forest to chop wood. After feeding her parents-in-law, Savitri followed with lunch. On the 364th day, as she approached, she saw a shadow fall over Satyavan. A noose hovered over his head. No! You cannot have him! Da, da, dinaka, da. Gadigina, da, da, dinaka, da, da, dinaka, da, na, da, na, gadigina, da. Day, dinaka, da, day, dinaka, day. What is that crunch of leaves I hear? Who dares follow me? It's only the life force of Satyavan, his Shakti, Yamaraj. I seem to have your noose about my waist. Very funny, daughter of Ashwapati. But your time has not yet come. You must go back. But for your wit, I offer you anything you like, except the life of Satyavan. O Dharmaraj, give my father-in-law back his eyesight. Done. Day, dinaka, dadhe, dinaka, day. What? Are you still there, Savitri? After we took 7 steps together, we might almost be married. I must follow you. Don't try to trick me. Go back at once. But for your wit, I offer you one more boon. Accept the life of Satyavan. O Yamaraj, give my father-in-law back his kingdom. Done. Day, dinaka, da, day, dinaka, day. Still there, Devi. This is the Vaitami River. Only the dead may cross it. I cannot take you with me. But for your persistence, I offer you one more boon for your life without Satyavan. O Yamaraj, give my father-in-law many grandchildren. Done. Day, dinaka, da, day. But there is only one way. You have won, Devi. Here, take back your husband. Great story, yes? but just a myth. No, because I think myths are true. They capture the truths and wisdom of a society, its knowledge of how things have been, how they should be, operating at many levels simultaneously. The child in us loves that Savitri tricked Yama, but we also learn societal values, what makes an ideal wife. Beautiful women in this society have brains. And once you've met Yama, can you be as afraid of death? Stories like this, myths and legends from any society, help shape who we are, our moral universe, how you deal with the journey beyond. India is filled with a plethora of such stories, but as an Indian dancer, I don't actually get to tell them. I can refer to them obliquely when dancing out the meanings of songs that I'm performing. Songs sung by a singer. Syllables chanted by a vocalist. We never speak, except to explain to people what we're about to do. In the next dance, Krishna, with his flute, tries to cajole Radha. I always wondered if there was a way to tell you who I was dancing about and give you the emotional impact of it without breaking the flow of a performance. Then, in 1986, I was cast by Julie Taymor for a music theatre work at Lincoln Center. The role was that of a narrator who transforms into the fearful goddess Kali and is the voice of several puppets. It had a huge text. I'm not really trained as an actor. And Julie said, shut up and read. Oh, and move too. Stop ripping up the shrubs, you steamy little sack of Maya. I got the role, and the experience of working with them, Julie and Elliot, and inhabiting characters with my voice as well as body was mind-blowing. So the very next dance performance, I substituted one of the dance songs with a story narrated with a few gestures, the story of Sati. Over the years, I embellished it with chants and little bits of dance and vocal syllables to bring out characters like the Lord Shiva, Dagida, Dagida, Dagada, the warrior goddess Durga, Jainam Takita Takatajam Jainutata, who in her bloodlust transforms into Kali, tongue dripping blood. I developed more stories, and in 2008, presented them in an evening of dance storytelling, directed by a theater director, not in a dance venue, but in the theater district of New York. But now I was adding more dance into my pieces. So for the story of Radha, I sang and danced the Geet Govinda, excerpts of this wonderful 13th century series of poems in Sanskrit, which describe the love between Radha and Krishna, interlinking each episode with a little text that told you what the character was thinking. Rase hari miha vihita vilasam smarati mano mama. I remember kissing those lips that now smile so deliciously at her. Spoken text and dance in a single flow. For the dance show Tapasya, which was on aesthetics, I included dance stories in an evening of regular group choreography on dances on Shiva, the Ganges, and the Kumbh Mela. And the stories linked Shiva, the cosmic god, with the sacred river, and this amazing festival, the Kumbh Mela, when attended by millions and millions of people who wear ascetics, naked and covered in ashes like Shiva, gather on the banks of the Ganges to immerse themselves in a bid for immortality. In India, the link between myth and real life is palpable. My favorite story from the show is that of Ganga, because as a Hindu, I know that when I die, my remains will be immersed in Mother Ganga, and she will take me into her bosom, ashes and bones, and give me birth again, forever. Dinna kittakate, tangi kittakate deita. Dinna kittakate, tangi kittakate deita. Dinna kittakate, tangi kittaka. as the nectar from Shiva's dancing body dripped off his upturned foot. It was lovingly collected in a Kamandalu vessel by Brahma, who took the waters up to Devaloka, kingdom of demigods in the sky, where the waters were known as Ganga, the river. A capricious life force. An unconventional nurturer. Darling of the demigods, she was ever full of laughter. So when the sage Durvasa loincloth blew away in a gust of wind, she you will leave the heavens and go down to earth, your waters, a place for people to wash their filth in. My words cannot be revoked, but I can promise you, your waters will never be defiled. You will purify everything you touch. Do-dum-dum-taka. 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 The celestial guardians of the 8 directions came running. We too have been cursed by sage Vasishta for trying to steal his Kamadhenu, cow that fulfills every desire. We must be born on earth, trapped in samsara, endless cycle of births and death. What if I go down to earth and give you birth, ensure you collect no karma, and so release you from samsara? Half in love with the handsome king Shantanu, Ganga entered his kingdom of Hastinapur. The moment Shantanu saw her, Denakadini da da din, Denakadini da dina dina, dina dina kadin da da din, Denakadini dina dina, da dina dina kadini da da din. Yes, I will marry you. But if you ever question anything I do, I will leave. Dinakadini da da din, dinakadini da da din da. In time, Ganga gave birth to a beautiful son. And within minutes of his birth, she took him down to the river and drowned him. But Shantanu remembered his promise. 6 more heirs she gave birth to. 6 more babies she drowned in the river. And then the 8th was born. Why? Our children are really the 8 Vasus, cursed to be born on earth. I promised to release them from samsara. But this is the one who himself stole Kamadhenu. He must live out this one lifetime. He will grow up to be an ascetic and warrior, the most honorable man India has ever known, Bhishma. You broke your promise.